Some players want to chase money. There's nothing wrong with that. They've got their ring. They're going to put that on their resume. There's nothing wrong with that. And what makes Philadelphia good? You've got a defensive coach, and you've got defensive coaches that can right the ship. Okay? $26 million a year. Is that what we're hearing now for Milton Williams? I mean, dude, the money that's being paid in the National Football League is insanity. What an absolutely great sign for the Patriots. Patriots are giving him $26 million annually to play. That's absolutely incredible. You were never in the building to sign him, but that's okay. That's part of being a champion. Hey, why wouldn't they want to come to Philadelphia and raid you, make you weaker, sign your good players? Hey, you know what you're going to say? Sills, do you think Milton Williams is a $26 million player? No, that doesn't matter. The money in the NFL today, you're being blinded by it. Just like you are, because when a quarterback makes $50 million, you think he's one of the top guys in the league, and he's not. Milton Williams is not going to be that easy to replace. You're out of your mind. His versatility, one of the things on your defense a year ago that gave you great latitude for that coordinator was multiple players could play multiple positions. Cooper DeJean, Zach Bond, Milton Williams, Jalen Carter. The majority of those guys were able to move around that defense, and it made you a chameleon defense. That is an insane amount of money to pay for him. Many of you are saying that, right? Get this. Milton's easily replaced by who? By who? Who could play multiple positions for you on the D-line? Name me one fucker you have in the building. Moro and Jomo? If that was the case, Vic would have started him over him. Vic plays no favorites. Keely Ringo would have got playing time if he was good. He didn't. He's not. Hey, for the record, I'm in complete agreement with the market. I don't know what the fuck you're going to pay Jalen Carter next year. After what I saw with Myles Garrett got, he's going to make $45 million. The reason you're not going to trade for Trey Hendrickson, for what? So you can pay a guy $28 million a year? You're not doing that. You're not going to do that. Like I said to you, okay? You have the guy who knows what the hell he's doing. He knows what he's doing. Okay? This is not going to be in a position where, hey, holy shit, our defense is going to suck. You've got work to do. Here, let's take a look at it now. And what I would say about your defense. Moro Jomo, you're not getting the production out of him until proven otherwise that Milton Williams gave you, nor are you getting the flexibility. So that's a downgrade. I don't care how. Sills, what is that? What do you think? I've been talking about this player since last April. I like the kid. He's not Milton Williams. Okay? Look, and I agree. He can play. He's a good ball player. Would I want him in my starting position? Absolutely. I like him. I thought a lot of him for the last 2 years. Big Sills, what do you think Howie's plan is? Trade AJ rumors? I'm not trading any of that fucking shit. Hey, Don't act like the Browns. Don't act like the Browns. You're not. You want to know two shitty organizations? The Dallas Cowboys and the Cleveland Browns are the antithesis of what shitty organizations are. Okay? You make a deal for Myles Garrett for that money, for $40 million annually, and you don't have a quarterback in the building? What's the point? What's the point? In 26 years, since Lerner and Haslam have owned the Browns, it's the worst run franchise in all the NFL. They can't get their shit right. They've had 3 winning seasons. And they signed a guy to a $40 million annual deal. It's an absolute joke. The Cowboys are now going to be held hostage by Micah Parsons. Why in the fuck would you sign that guy? Why? We might not have gotten Garrett, but I'm saying staying with the Browns is the next best place for him to stay and land for the Eagles' perspective. Shitty team in the AFC and far away. Sig thanks. Absolutely. By the way, on the Browns, he makes no impact except eating up salary cap. And Micah Parsons, that's it, Dallas. Keep building from the edges, offensively and defensively. And you know what you don't have that the Philadelphia Eagles will always have over you? Heart. The heart of their defense and offense is set. O-line, D-line. Cowboys like them flashy players. Eagles like those tough fuckers. And that's why they win Super Bowls. When will you learn, old man? We never mess around with trenches. We hit the defensive picks and develop. Yeah, like Jordan Davis is Jordan Davis is an underachieving defensive player that you drafted. Plain and simple. Jordan Davis, Milton Williams outplayed him the last 3 years. He has been an underachiever in anybody's mind. And Nolan Smith has come on in the last 7 weeks of the NFL season. No doubt, showing great signs. That's the truth. Those are the facts. I don't talk in fucking projection and prospect shit. I talk who you are today on March 10th. Okay? You have the guy to fix this. You have it. I wouldn't panic. Helen Young or Bosa 1-year deal, prove it deals? Maybe. If it doesn't upset the business plan that Roseman's on, I don't think you need to sit here and do anything on the first day. I just don't. And Kobe Dean, I see people, Dean, bro, try staying healthy for a year. Try not ending the season on IR. Hey, one thing about Jordan Davis, I thought he played well from the New York game on all the way to the Super Bowl. Freddie, let me ask you this. If your boss came to you and told you to take a pay cut and trying to trade you to another business, and you go out and play your ass off, and there are other teams offering more money, are you going to resign with your boss? Get this. People are going, Sweat's coming back. There's no other options. Are you fucking high? He's one of the top-rated free agents. And he's not 30. What are you thinking about? Try to stay in line with me here in reality. Eagle fans, try to stay in reality here. Okay? I know it's difficult because you're still drunk from the parade. By the way, you should be. Okay? Mauro Jomo, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, Zach Bond, the Kobe Dean, Jalix Hunt, Q, CJ, Reed, Keely Ringo, and Cooper DeJean. That's your starting defense right now. How do I look at that? That's not awful. You know why? Anytime you have that guy right there, okay, number 98, you're good in my book. And you have behind him Zach Bond. I'm good. Hey, by the way, I see people taking a shit on that Carolina contract with that corner. You know what's funny? Eagle fans are assuming that Quinyon Mitchell's going to have the same year he had a year ago. Sauce Gardner was a lockdown corner his rookie year, and he's kind of faded the last couple of years. Now, albeit completely two different organizations. I'll give you that. Hang in there. Let's see how the kid puts the next 2 years in, 3 years in, before you start crowning him a $30 million a year guy. Let's hang in there. You know, you get paid on consistency in this league. Okay? And he plays the zone. All those other guys, those top 25 guys, or those top 5 corners, all play man, they're man corners. That's why the guy in Carolina got that money. Williams in New England just announced. Okay. The Patriots making gigantic moves. They are, but then again, they were one of the teams that had a shitload of money. Patriots are signing $26 million a year to play in New England. That is an incredible number, and congratulations to you, Milton Williams, on being a third-round draft choice by the Philadelphia Eagles. Listen how this sounds. If you're an Eagle scout, coach, GM, head coach, and owner, way to develop Milton Williams for the last 4 years into turning him into one of the top 5 rated D tackles in the NFL this year, according to PFF. So much so, you turned that third-round pick into one of the highest paid players in the National Football League. You developed him, you got him paid, and you let a 25-year-old D tackle walk out the building. How's that sound? Darnold to the Seahawks. This is why they traded Geno Smith to the Raiders. 3 years, $110.5 million with $55 guaranteed. Just shows you organizations can destroy you as well, like the Jets, the Panthers, and other places. Sam Darnold has financially resurrected his career. You can say whatever you want about him. Last 2 games of the year blew him up? Sure. Fuck that. He got paid over $30 million for a guy who was considered a bust. That's resurrecting your career. Whatever you want to say. Whatever. Your comments don't matter when a guy's making north of $30 million. Get this. There's no doubt Jalen Carter's presence, as great as it is, was the casualty of having him and how good he was because you had to let those other 2 guys go. How he couldn't figure, why would you let 2 guys, 28 and 25, go, who are considered the top dudes in the NFL? It's because the league's rigged. You can't keep them all. You just can't. Remember, you have an unbalanced salary cap in Philly. all your money's on O. This has been something that has been a Howie Roseman obvious trait since I've covered the team. You don't spend money there. And by the way, you've got a turd on your team with the biggest contract. You know who the highest paid defensive player is now in your team? Bryce Huff. Bryce Huff. And he don't even play. You're paying him $18 million. Okay, I mean, you missed on Sweat and Milton. One of those contracts could have easily have been spent re-signing your own guy. No. You have the right guy, though. Look, I don't like letting great young talent players that I drop. Why? Remember what I said to you also. Very few Eagles get their second contracts on defense. It's been by design. Nobody on that football team outside, I think Reed Blankenship, has his second contract. How much cap space does the Eagles have left? I think after the Bond deal, Barkley re-signing, I thought I saw somewhere near $23 million. So again, nobody gets second contracts in Philly on defense. Reed's the only dude. However, you're the champs. You get the equity. You do. You get the equity. I'll tell you this. Here, look at this here. Somebody brought up Hargrave's name. I don't give a shit that Javon Hargrave went to San Francisco and flopped. They had to pay him $30 million guaranteed money. That's a success story. Because he got the money he wanted. That was his plan and his agent's plan. They wanted money. They took it. It didn't work out. You still owe him the guaranteed money. This is the move. You should have re-signed fucking Milton Williams. And when Jordan Davis's contract is up right now, I'm not giving him that 5th-year option, and I'm fucking walking away from him. You let the wrong guy walk out the building. That's exactly correct. He's been a better player in the last 3 years and a more versatile player, and you let that fucker walk out, and you're going to probably extend the kid, and he's not worthy of an extension. But you took him 13th. Jordan Davis does not belong on that team at that price. No matter if it's an $8 million 5th-year option. He's not. Now, you can make the argument here. Sills, they just gave Derek Barnett a 1-year, $5 million deal, and he's a rotation edge guy in Houston. I got to keep remembering that the cap has gone up so much and the salaries have gone up so much that maybe $8 million isn't a lot. You just gave Milton Williams $26 million? Maybe $8 million's not a lot for Jordan. For a guy who plays 20 plays. Once again, I'm going to sit back, though, and do this. You know, the GM knows what he's doing in times like this. Like, I get read off. You're not going to start the season with fucking Keely Ringo at corner. That's not going to happen. He's not good enough. You're not going to start the season with Jalix Hunt. He's not good enough. You may start it with Moro or Jomo. You may do that. But you need to draft. I would say this, now that I've lost Milton, I got to draft a DT down there Fuck the edge. I got away with that in the Super Bowl. I need a DT here. I need a defensive tackle. Kid from Oregon, kid from Michigan, the kid from Ole Miss. All three of them dudes could fit right there at that position, and I'd be all right with that, and that'd be good. Okay? Darius Slay is now lost. He's signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers and Mike Tomlin. We'll get you the details in a minute. So you've lost your all-pro corner. You've lost your star D lineman, two of them, in Milton Williams, and also in Josh Sweat. Stop with the attitude shit on Slay. I couldn't stand it either. He's a good player. I would say this to you. Congratulations, Darius Slay. You're going to end your career in a great city. You're staying in Pennsylvania. You're playing for Mike Tomlin. Thank you very much for your service as an Eagle. You were fantastic. Darius Slay thought he was Brandon Graham and that he was going to get a victory parade for his service in his limited time in Philly. Little did he find out the organization wasn't as loyal to him as he thought. Thank you for your service. Don't take it personal. It's strictly business. Remember, he was a hired mercenary when you traded for him with Detroit. If Davis can get some weight off like Carter did, maybe he'll step up. Fuck, man, it's been 4 years. All supers go to the top, guys. Thank you. Please hit the like button. Seals Williams for sure plays next to Carter in our nickel. Ajomo had a higher pressure rate and just 100. So let me ask you, Tyler. You think Moro Ajomo's going to give you the same play of Milton Williams? You think that's what 18 teams, what I'm being told, had made calls to his agent? 18 teams. You think he's better than Milton Williams? Wishful thinking. Not much difference. So you think that Moro Ajomo's a $26 million a year player? I'm not debating this. I'm not even remotely going to entertain this. Not remotely close. Milton was your third best D player this past season. From week 1 to week 20. He was your best player. One of your best 3 players on defense. Stop it. Hey, by the way, here we go. Eagle fans falling in love with their guys and then out of love. I don't fall in love with players. I fall in fucking like with players. Because they're chess pieces. Some are rooks, some are knights, some are pawns. You move them around the NFL board. Guess what it is? By the way, today on the program, Xander's going to join us at 3:30. Howard Eskin is going to join us at 4:30. Gary Cobb at the top of the 5 o'clock hour. We'll have Howard Eskin on with us at 4:30. We'll get Howard's take. Hit the like button. We appreciate all of you coming aboard here. Okay? Let me say this to you. Once again, the difference this time in your Super Bowl window versus the non-Super Bowl window you had after the 17 and 22 season is that you have this working for you. Ajomo, homegrown. Davis, homegrown. Carter, homegrown. Smith, homegrown. Dean, homegrown. Hunt, homegrown. Q, homegrown. Reed, homegrown. Keeley, homegrown. DeJean, homegrown. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Counting the nickel corner, you got 10 dudes that you drafted that you're working with that side of the football. That's core. That is a core group of dudes to work with. I love that. I love that. That is fantastic. I love homegrown dudes, especially with Vic. That's a good place to be when you're losing really great players. I just think it sucks that Howie doesn't believe in multiple contracts for defensive players because they spend all their money on the offensive side. All the 3-4 year contracts are all on our offense. Seals, chill, bro. Davis fits a role. Whatever. Not at that money, and he's not as productive as you think. Milton Williams was 10 times the player. Milton Williams, hey, if Milton Williams can be replaced, Jordan Davis can be replaced easily. Seals, it's a domino effect. Lose Hargrave. Milton was the next now. Milton is gone. It's a Jomo's turn. Love you, Seals. Keep up. Appreciate you, Martin. Plus this year's draft and good comp picks. I think there's some good D tackles and edge rushers in this thing. Some decent old linemen. I'm not enamored with this draft. We'll see. Okay? By the way, signing a contract with the Patriots. Remember that one guy who was he in here talking to me about money? I told you Milton Williams is going to sign a contract for money. I told you that this week. When's enough enough? Hey, I told you that guy, whoever was going to offer him the most, that's where he was going. First, the report was Carolina. Then New England parachuted in with more money. Slay signing with the Steelers, so we hear. Milton Williams, $26 million deal, which because of that number, Milton Williams will have a compensation pick in 2026 of a third-round pick. You get an additional third-round pick in the 2026 NFL draft. Something you can trade and move around with in a couple months here in April. Just remember, Howie's season runs up until the trading deadline. Actually, Howard, I think Howie's season goes all the way up until September 7th, the day before the NFL season starts. He's proven that, and he has proven that to me. Remember something. Don't cry over these fucking guys leaving. Next up, let's go. What are we doing here? I don't think the Eagles have to panic. Let those other teams panic, drive the market up. Howie was never going to get into a bidding war for Milton and Joshua. That wasn't happening. Joshua, get this. Milton Williams just got a $26 million deal. Or Josh Sweat might get a $30 million contract now. Why pay millions 26 when you're going to have to pay Carter 40? Absolutely. That's absolutely the game plan, Anthony. Don't believe anything in here. Slay wants to take a fucking pay. Get this. You see some assholes in here going, Slay wants to take a pay cut again for a second year in a row. What are you, Howie's son? You embarrassed the player a year ago by having him take less money than Bryce Huff. And some asshole in here saying that Sweat will take a lesser contract. And you were trying to trade him. How fucked up is that? The plan must be to move Coop outside. You don't let Rodgers and Slay go unless you have a game plan for Ringo. We'll see how this thing runs in the offseason here. JD3, I'm with you. Ringo's not going to start. It's not going to be here. Well, who are you putting in the nickel then? Are you saying it's easier to find a new nickel player than it is a corner? You would be right. Okay? This is it right here. Can't pay everybody. Anthony, dead on. Can't pay everybody. By the way, if Drew Rosenhaus made that deal for Slay and Slay not coming back to Philly, Eagles never wanted him back. I think he'd have took significantly less. This is an opinion. I think since Slay moved on to the Steelers, I say that the Eagles may not have wanted him back. Get this. Look at this guy. Ringo will start. And yet, last year, he saw no fucking playing time with a guy who plays anybody who shows promise. But this guy's telling you he's going to start in the fucking corner. That he's going to be at one of the corner positions. Keely Ringo is going to start. You're back to 31st if that kid starts. If anything, you're going to make Ringo the swing corner. Get him some reps. Get him acclimated. You need a veteran out there. I wouldn't go into draft and get it. You're not drafting another corner. I'd trade for a veteran corner. Or find one. How we found a Slay trade. Get a veteran guy. Hey, I'll tell you what. I'd let Vic figure this out. Who does he like out there? Bro, you don't have the replacements on your roster right now in the secondary for this. He'll figure it out, though. Look, this isn't gloom and doom. You know why? Your GM knows what he's doing. I do think that he had no choice but to watch Sweat and Milton Williams walk out the door. Players he developed, coached, drafted, paid. How does Howie Roseman let a third-round pick who turns out to a $26 million a year player just fucking walk out the room? He's 25. Eagles will be fine. Need to build around Carter, correct. What'd Slay get? He was never getting over 7 here. Agreed, Anthony. I think they probably had a number. I told you. Remember, some people were saying 1 year, $10 million? No fucking way. No way. Not me. I'm not paying that guy $8 million. Now, the market may pay that. But me, I'm not paying Slay one year, $8 million. No, thank you. No way. Sales, good teams have to make tough cuts. I'll make this more to the point, Kyle. Good teams have to make tough decisions. Okay? Do me a favor, guys. Tell me where we are in the likes. Appreciate it. All right? Thank you. All super chats go to the top. By the way, like I said, the market will overpay for Slay. The Eagles don't have to. You really think the Eagles are going to bring back Darius Slay and pay him $15 million or $13 million a year, 35 years old? Knowing that they got to pay a guy $45 million next year? No fucking way. Get this. Milton Williams is not overpaid. Milton Williams is paid what the market is now dictating. Supply and demand. Take a course at Penn or Villanova. They'll teach it to you. Very easy. Go online. When the supply and demand is limited for great players, you overpay. And when the money is in the building, you're going to pay whatever you need. Take a course. It's easy to figure out. Not hard. You're not overpaid. The market dictates. Look at the deals that are being generated just by mediocre old linemen. Look at, like I said, the other thing to keep an eyeball on here is look at what Isaiah Rodgers got. He was a swing corner in Philly. He's going to make north of $8 million a year. Oh, what? Well, I'm not paying that either. You know what really I thought the market for Isaiah Rodgers was going to be? I don't know, $3 million? Fuck, that's totally doable. Not me. I'm not paying that guy $8 million. Hey, by the way, shows you the need at that position. Here's a guy that was booted out of the game for gambling. Well, he just made his money up. Milton wasn't worth what he was. He was a rotate. Milton Williams is not a rotation player. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Milton Williams, a rotation player. Says, what about the DB from the Chargers, Samuel? Depending on what the money is. Remember, if I'm going to cut somebody or I'm going to move on from somebody, what's my game plan? Hey, this thing they got going on here with Goddard, I don't mind moving on from the guy. It's time. However, what's your plan? Can't be Grant Calcaterra. You know what the Eagles don't want to do with Goddard anymore? They're not going to pay for that luxury. Dallas Goedert was a luxury. They're not doing it. I will make this declaration about Dallas Goedert. If they can't find a dance partner for him, they're going to cut him. They will cut him. Post June 1. They will cut him. That is a prediction. If they can't find somebody to trade with him, they're going to treat him like the Commanders treated Jonathan Allen, and they will cut him. Howie did say it was going to look different. I don't think it looks stupid different here. You still got the draft coming up. Howie has made it clear where he stands recently. You pointed it out last week. Howie doesn't give second contracts on defense unless you're special. Yeah. He does not pay. And the organization has, get this, I'm going by what you and how you act. You like free agents when you need it. You use the draft. And if you see a player that's really good, he has to be exceptionally gifted for them to pay. They wouldn't even pay Hassan Reddick. Isn't it crazy? Reddick had maybe one of the absolutely worst seasons in negotiating and destroyed his own season, his own time, served as an NFL player, had to pay fines. Jets and Eagles got really They both lost as an edge rushing team. And he still got 1 year, $14 million from the Bucs. How's that possible? He made his money back on what he was making in Philly. Think about that. Hassan Reddick signed the same contract with the Buccaneers that he had in Philly. Just read Slay signing with the Steelers. Yes. Eagles always get their players paid. Not on defense. Not on defense. They don't get second contracts. That's the way they operate. Hey, you've been to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years, 3-7. You give them the benefit of the doubt on how they operate. You can complain all you want. At the end of the day, they've got 2 rings in 7 years, 3 appearances, and have multiple playoffs. I don't know. I mean, hey, that's how they do business. They've got a resume they can fall back on and show you. Sills, you're right. Really tough decision to move off of Milton. Sills, tough to move off of Sweat. Absolutely true. But how have we been the last decade? Pretty damn good. All right. Well, what do you think? Yeah. Wake me up in September. Let me see how it looks then. Here on March 10th, there's a lot of shit. I get it. But wake me up in September. And I'll let you know then. Got to remember, guys. Okay? Wake me up in September. Not March 10th. Right now, the only guy getting a second contract on defense is Carter. Harv, I'm not giving Kobe Dean a fucking second contract. And I'm not giving Nolan Smith one. This upcoming season, I want to see if both can stay healthy and both can play 17-plus games. Paying guys on half season service, not for me. Especially with the amount of edge money that's out there now. And by the way, you got a lot riding on Bond's contract. On him not stepping back. I don't think he will, and I'm not projecting that. As long as you have Jalen Carter in front of him, he's good. Jalen Carter is going to sign somewhere in the excess of $150 million for 3 years. It's going to look like something like that. They're prepared. Josh Sweat and Milton Williams are a casualty of what's to come for Jalen Carter. You ask me, Stills, are you cool with that? Fuck yeah. You're telling me I can't pay and have Jalen Carter, and I got to keep those 2 guys, and I'm not paying him? That deal's off. I'm doing whatever I have to do to secure Jalen Carter's future in Philadelphia, and I don't care what the expense is. Sills, what do you think of our offseason? I think I think the Commanders are doing a great job right now. Y'all acting surprised Milton gone to get a lot of money here. Ramir, I'm surprised at the $26 million. I won't lie. I thought it was going to be somewhere near 20, not $26 million. I think the Rams are having a great offseason. They got Stafford back in the building. They got Devontae Adams. If I were them, I'd do everything in my power to try to get Cooper Kupp back. You could have Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, and Devontae Adams. And I disagree with John McMullen on Devontae Adams. Who the fuck has been throwing him the ball the last 3 years? That whole shit show in New York with the Rams and Rodgers and him, they didn't have enough time there. When he was with the Raiders and with Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew, you put him with someone that's capable like Stafford in Los Angeles and the play caller McVay is, they got better. They need some D-tackle help and OT help. And I would also say corner help. Look at the Vikings panicking. I see the Rams as the biggest threat in the NFC versus legit. Harv says, thanks for the supers. Guys, do me a favor. Please. Supers, go to the top and hit the like button. Give me a total on the likes. I'll say this. Rams, Detroit. Rams, Detroit, and Washington. Those are the three teams. And again, then you add the war of attrition. If you have the war of attrition in those three teams, okay, Eagles are the favorite of those three. By significant rosters, yeah. Eagles have the best roster of players in the NFC, still losing Milton Williams and Josh Sweat. Those are key players. But you have a general manager that knows how to replace that. Just imagine Bond would have gotten in the open market. Think of this, Ramir. If Zach Bond had gone on the open market and you see some of these price tags, Zach Bond would have made in excess of $20 million. That's a given. He left $3.5 million a year on the table, which comes out to like 10 plus million that he threw in a trash can and lit on fire to stay in Philly. Yes. I completely agree with that. You're going to get a ton of compensation picks. Here's the problem with Mekhi Becton's deal. Mekhi Becton wants to play in Philly so bad. Man, he doesn't want to leave Jeff Stoutland. You know what his agent's doing? Hoss, I've been just offered 3 contracts of an excess of 3 years, $42 million. The Eagles aren't offering you that. The Eagles are offering you 3 years at 35. You got teams out there offering you near $45 million. And you're going to be the centerpiece on their team. Yeah, but they're shitty teams. Hey, you got to have a come to Jesus conversation. Do I want to go to a poor environment where I don't particularly, I'm going to make a point to you about Mekhi Becton. I don't think Mekhi Becton is the most mature kid on the planet. This is what I'm told. And if you're the agent, you better look out for your client here and make sure he lands in the right spot. Because that guy has bust all over him, and he has dominance all over him. You can't play like he did last year and then look like that like you did in New York and not think it's an environment issue. That is completely an environment issue. Trust me when I tell you that. You can play in the shittiest place on the planet and become the shittiest part of that planet. You go to a great place where winning attitude, culture elevates you. It's a different world. Not everybody's got the intestinal fortitude to fight through that. Take it from me. Do you want a lengthy career in Philly? Or do you want to be Andre Dillard in Tennessee? If he has a good agent that gives a shit about him, that's what he's telling him. If Mekhi Becton takes the money and goes to some place like Tennessee, now Bill Callahan's there, okay? That's one of the better O-line coaches. Hey, by the way, any numbers on the Steelers in what they gave Darius Slay? I'd like to know the numbers. I'd like to know what they gave him. I wouldn't be shocked if they overpaid. Okay? Mekhi Becton on the open market is a 3-year, $45 million guy. Look at this. This is going to shock you. And I know many people probably thought I was going to go crazy. Eagles are quiet, and I like it. Me too. Me too. You know why the Eagles are quiet? They don't want to be part of this defensive tackle market driving the prices up like this. This is the worst offseason financially for the Philadelphia Eagles because you know why? The more these D tackles and the more these defensive ends and the more these D linemen get paid, Myles Garrett deal, the Micah Parsons deal, that's to come, albeit edge versus tackle, I understand. But we're talking impact guy. There's no way you're not going to be talking an extension of 42 annually or more for Jalen Carter. 42, 43 million annually